Hello once again, everybody. This is Rich with High Percent Trading. Today's short video is going to show the pit open trades and then trading beyond the pit open this morning using the very same entry techniques that we use trading here at High Percent Trading, and that is let's start with crude oil. Now, crude oil's pit open is 6 a.m. Pacific. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. We're going to use the accelerator method of trading. And that's a momentum-based method of trading. Using the octopus here, that's an indicator within high percent trading that actually takes all of the indicators, filters them, boils them down into one trade entry that you can actually enter automatically and manage automatically if you like. But here's our 6 a.m. right here. Notice if we look back, we've already had a series of arrows trading to the downside. In fact, some traders who started trading earlier than the pit session did very well in crude oil as it declined. But what that means is coming into 6 a.m., we cannot be taking any short trades right now until we reset going the other direction because we already had at least 2 arrows in the same direction. That being said, this is your first entry. This was a long entry here in crude oil. This entry went nowhere. This got stopped out for about a 5-tick loss. But then in keeping with what we always talk about here, you take one more bite out of the apple off this trade. In other words, entry here, got stopped out here, follow it down, and the minute you get a reversal bar back up, re-enter the trade. Now, the octopus won't signal this, but this is a re-entry, and this is exactly the way we teach it. Now, this trade went up to make at least 10 ticks on a scalp, but no runner. Continuing on, we had a second trade entry here. Again, same thing. This trade entry on the long side didn't work. The push was down, obviously. Another stop out for about 4 or 5 tick loss. Normally, we would be looking to re-enter again on another bite out of the apple, but that got negated by the short sale here. So the market went short here. Nice trade to the downside in crude. This was arrow number 2 right here. This again resulted in a nice scalp but no runner, and then in accordance with what again we always teach, take one more bite out of the apple on this trade. If the runner got stopped out, which it did here, and then one more bite out of the apple. Notice that there was a octopus entry that signaled the trade here. This trade went on and picked up a considerable amount on the downside, and that brings us to 7 a.m. That brought us to our first time period here where we're going to stop trading what we call the accelerator and adopt a different method, and that's the breaks. But you can see, nice trade, and if you continue to trail it down, very nice profits. So now starting after the 7 a.m. time, we actually switch gears, we switch methodology. We're taking what's called the breaks, which is using a deeper type of retrace with the overall trend. You can see the first trade entry was here. Picked up about 15 ticks. If you had a runner and had your stop here, it got stopped out. But then, again, take the second bite out of the apple again right here off the reversal bar. This went on to make a new contract lows on the session, roughly about another 35 ticks. And then, as we continued a little bit deeper in time, the markets rallied up. This is what's called a phantom trade up here. The octopus took the trade, signaled the trade, a nice scalp. No runner, but then watch what happened. Second bite out of the apple up here, and also the octopus signaling the trade because we went a little bit higher. A nice trade, pulling all the way back, generating about 20 to 24 ticks profit on this one as well. So again, you can see that in the first basically 2.5 hours of trading, this session was very, very profitable. No need to continue to trade beyond that. Remember, trading's not a marathon, but that's crude oil, and that's trading the pit open plus extending out on the retrace trade. So let's take a look at another market from today. Okay, the next market we want to look at will be NASDAQ from today. Again, now the pit open on NASDAQ is 6:30 Pacific, that's 9:30 Eastern. So we're going to look back here. This brings us to 6:30, basically right here. If we look back, we saw that we had an earlier short entry here off the accelerator entry, so we're good to take one more. This would have been your trade entry right here. If you're using a very tight stop, you would have got stopped out. But again, as we always talk about, it's very important you take that second bite out of the apple. That the octopus actually signaled it. That was your trade setup. Got a nice scalp on this, a good 12 to 14 ticks, but then no runner. And of course, no runner because shortly thereafter, we had a long trade here, resulting in a nice scalp, and then a second long trade here. Again, if you're using a very tight stop, you would have gotten your stop hit, but then re-enter the trade here. Went up to make a good profit, and that still brings us only about 8 minutes into the session. So we've had a short trade here that worked, another long trade here, and now we move to the short side, which is right here. Beautiful short entry. Second arrow entry here, and again applying the same technique. If you did have a tight stop here, take one more bite out of the apple. That was short, and we went on to make a very good profit here to the downside. Again, just follow the rules. These rules are made to catch these high percent trades, and so far as we've been following these, every session has been profitable. Not every trade is profitable, because we've seen a couple trades that aren't, but every session has been profitable if you follow the rules. Now that was our 2-arrow rule. Arrow 1 entry, arrow 2 entry with the second bite out of the apple. All of these we're ignoring. Okay, we're passing on all of these until we got out to here. And in this case, we had a long trade entry here at basically 658. Nice trade to the upside. Moved all the way up into the phantom. Then we had one more, if you wanted to take the one more trade here, that got stopped out, but then here's your second bite out of the apple right here. That's your good trade right here. Want to point something out. We had the U of M, and then this market took off strongly to the downside. Okay, but again, some nice profits in here. Now we're going to switch over and run the accelerator. As I indicated, we switch off the accelerator rather at 7 a.m. and switch on the brakes. Let's take a look at what happened after that. And again, this is the consistent approach we've taken in the last 3 weeks that we've been showing this. All right, so here's 7 a.m. and you notice this market went into a big tailspin to the downside. Some members, when they trade this, they'll take their accelerator out a little bit longer. Remember, we had the U of M report that was at 7 a.m. Now, I don't view that as a major report. Some traders do. I just think it's more of a nuisance than anything. But you could have continued running your accelerator past that. I didn't, and we didn't show that. So there are times when you can miss a big run like this, but that's okay. That's part of trading. Remember, you don't need to chase trades. We already had some good trade selections in the first half hour. And if you were waiting for the proper setup here again, as this market sold off, you have to exercise patience, discipline, and then timing, and just wait for the proper setup. And we mentioned this again today in the analysis room. Eventually, the markets rallied back up and got the short entry here. So this is again trading the breaks, first time. Short entry for a scalp, no runner, but then back in again one more time for the very nice trade. Okay. You even had a third trade up here if you wanted to take it. Remember, we don't follow the 2-arrow rule when it comes to the breaks types trades because they're always resetting. So we can continue to take these in sequence. This was trade here, second trade here, third trade up here. This one went coast to coast all the way down. All right, this is a great trade, about 50 ticks all the way down. Long trade here for a scalp, no runner. And then the second long trade here, all the way back up to the mid-band and beyond. That's about 30 ticks if you held a runner. Continuing on, again, just waiting patiently for the setups, letting the indicators do all the work. We moved up again. This looks like a mirror reflection of before, doesn't it? Short entry here, second one here, went down into a nice profit-taking area. Third entry here, and then one more bite out of the apple. Came down, went coast to coast. And then a a long trade here for a scalp, no runner. Back in again one more time, back to the mid-band. You see how this is mirroring? A lot of times these markets will repeat a cycle twice. You see the short trade here? And then the two longs down here. Does that look familiar if we come back to this? Same thing. Short trade here, two longs here, back to the mid-band and down. Again, that's a cycle repeating itself. And then once we took the long trade back to the mid-band, which was the hard target. And that brings us out to 8 a.m. That's basically an hour and a half into the trading session. Again, both sessions profitable. Not every trade profitable, but both sessions profitable, utilizing different entry techniques. First part is using what's called the accelerator, going with the momentum type trade entries, and the second part using the good retraces. Now, I promised some of you today that I would also show natural gas using the accelerator. Natural gas had a report today, the Nat Gas report. That was at 7:30 Pacific. That's 10:30 Eastern. Let's take a look at that and see what it did. All right, here's our nat gas contract. Now, the thing I'd like to point out too is this octopus that's looking at all the indicators in the background. You don't have to have a single indicator up on this chart. It'll go ahead and actually find the trades using the indicators in the background and signal those and take them. So the nat gas inventory report came out at 7:30. We wait 2 minutes to 7:32. That puts us out to here. We're looking at taking the first trade. First trade was here, long, using the accelerator. And then following the 2-arrow rule, second trade long here. Notice we went on to make new highs again. Actually, trades number 3 and 4 worked as well. But again, we're following only the 2-arrow rule with the accelerator, the momentum-based trades, trade number 1, trade number 2, some very nice profits. Then we're going to ignore the rest of these long trades in here and then watch what happened a little bit later on. We got the nice short trade to the downside, the second re-entry trade here, and then the bite out of the apple off of here, and that's where we're at right now. So again, out of the 5 trade setups, the 5 trades, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 4 of the 5 profitable, and again the session very profitable. So we looked at the crude oil session, we looked at the NASDAQ session, and we also looked at the nat gas session, and all of them profitable again. As I've indicated throughout the series of these videos, these sessions have been profitable every session of the trading week now in these markets for the last 3 to 4 weeks since we've been showing this. I just want to show the website again in case some of you aren't familiar with it. We're offering a free trial on all of these great indicators, strategies, and setups. If you haven't taken the free trial yet, please come on over. It's hypercenttrading.com. Just go to the free trial tab, click on it, fill out the information, we'll get it over to you. Also, you can come in and see the live markets analysis in operation live during the next week. All of the links are up here. We'll have the links up here for the following week by the weekend. So we urge you all to come in if you haven't had the occasion to see these markets working in action like this. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been informative. Have a very nice weekend. And whatever you do, do not overtrade. Once you get to your goals or get close to your goals, you need to stop trading and never overtrade. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye now.